G'day guys, and welcome back to the JFBS Supercoach channel. And today we're going to go through the best premium options for centers in NBA Supercoach. If you haven't checked out the past four videos where I did the best premium options from point guards all through to power forwards, please check them out. They are probably not as important as this video. Probably the point guard and shooting guard ones are a little bit more important for best premium options. But please do check out the other ones as well. Maybe after this video, or you could pause this and find the other four. But I do heavily advise try and search the other four as we complete this kind of mini series. I don't know if you'd call it a series. This little 5-part of best premium options for like each position. So today, as you saw on the title of the video and thumbnail, we are doing centers. Centers are going to be the most important. If I'll have a quick squiz, give me 2 seconds. The main difference between the scoring between NBA and NBL is that I think assists are more. And normally in other platforms of fantasy, they do assist for 2 and rebound for 1. So now that it rebound and assist for equal points, you're more likely to go for guys that are centers and guys who are going to get rebounds. It's great that you can go for guys for assists, but you might potentially not want to go for James Harden, who gets a lot of turnovers. That's -2. That's 3 potential points that's a 3-point difference. You could have a 29, but you end up getting a 26, for example, if he was on 28. So it's a bit annoying. So with centers, considering that not with the ball as much, they're not playmaking, but they'll be getting boards. They'll be getting very easy, efficient shots around the rim. I mean, that's just for, the centers that are, traditional centers. And then you guys like the top 5 here all shoot. So they're not going to take dumb shots, is what I'm trying to say. So let's kick it off with the first person I reckon is the best, and it's Giannis. There's a reason why he's my captain for the first week, because, well, he's playing Washington. But I won't go into as much detail because there's the power forward video, but he's going to, considering that Damian Lillard's left, Chris Middleton's left, he's got Kyle Kuzma, so he's going to ask for the ball for a bit. But you've got Miles Turner, you've got Kevin Porter Jr., and you've got Cole Anthony, and you've got all these other Milwaukee players like guards who aren't going to be that playmaking type. Maybe do we see a Cole Anthony boost in playmaking, or Kevin Porter Jr. or Gary Trent Jr.? Like, I just don't think we are. So that's why I really think going for Giannis is the perfect option to start off your team, because he'll be having the ball a lot more. I could easily see him averaging at least 7 assists, 8 assists now that Dame's gone. He's still going to have he's going to play close to 40 minutes, I reckon, a night. And he gets the boards, he gets steals and blocks, he gets points. I reckon his average will go up more than 37.6. Could we see Damian Lillard's 1, 2? Did he join this year? 34, 38, 37. So he could end up being back in his 2021-22 form, even though it's pretty similar to his 24, 25. But that was without Damian Lillard. Now he's 4 years better than he was, in my opinion. Next guy on the list, Nikola Jokic. Now, you're probably wondering, why is he number 2, even though he averaged 45.2 last year? It's really because of his price and his fixturing. If you don't know this fixturing, #basketball.com, obviously not a sponsor or anything, considering they're not very well known. That's besides the point. 2 games in that first week he's playing, so probably not the smartest, but considering it is like Jokic, he'll score more than like your worst guy on the court. He's got Golden State. Like, he always scores really high against us. Speaking of that, I've changed my name now to Olden State because of the age, which I thought was funny. But even in this second week, he's got 4 games. So it's a bit of a could go for him. You could go for him. I reckon he'd be a decent option. I think if you haven't watched NBA before and you're trying to get into this, then the next couple of sentences will help you out. But if you know Jokic, just skip ahead because you know what he's like. He obviously gets rebounds. He is arguably the best playmaker in the league, and he scores really well. Not much on the defensive end. I know he probably gets a steal and a block maybe once a game, which is 2 points. And he's efficient. We've seen games of him where he's like shot 15 for 15, triple double. Like, my lord, he is a living legend. But yes, that is number 2. Number 3 is Victor Wembanyama. 1.5 mil below Giannis. Don't mind the option. He's got once San Antonio have 2 games in their first round. That's why I think Giannis is better than Jokic and Wemby for not just the whole year, but just for the first round. The thing with San Antonio's fixture is that after their 2 games, oh, well, this is different. They literally have no twos at all, even in the rounds that most teams have 2 gamers. So, anyways, this is going into his 3rd year, better than ever. He's a super fit and healthy guy, and I mean, when he's not on the court, but he really tries, and you can tell he eats, breathes, and lives basketball every day, and he really tries his hardest to, improve his health and stuff. So I reckon Victor's a great option. Number 4, I have got Domantas Sabonis. Now him and probably the next 1, 2, 3 guys you could probably switch around for your opinions and differences. I made this list maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so don't get mad at me if you think it's wrong. Do let me know if it is wrong. I probably will put him down maybe 2 or 3 spots, but I had him at 4 originally just because he's an efficient guy around the rim, gets rebounds, he assists the ball at a high level. He doesn't have much of a vertical, so he is a bit of a paint threat, I guess. Like, not many people are going up against him. Maybe the more athletic guys are, but I think now that I'm like just talking about it, I would probably rather 2 or 3. I would pick 4 before him. So, and for 19.5 mil, he went down 3.5 mil since last year. He's going to go down more. Like, I just think it's a little bit too much on his head. But next guy on the list is Karl Anthony Towns. Now, I mentioned it in the power forward video. His minutes are going to go down just because Mike Brown's there. So please, if you are going to go him, don't be surprised that he's going to go down in price or he doesn't have as much high scoring. He averaged probably like 25 and 12 last year, which was unbelievable. But I just don't think he's going to do that 2 years in a row with 2 different head coaches. Number 6, we have got Anthony Davis. So he's interesting. I've talked about in the power forward video. If he's plays the full 82 games, I would go for him as well. 21 mil, shoots the ball at 3 levels, 2-way. Gets lots of blocks. He's great on the defensive end. Don't know why it says he's just playing LA in round 2. What the hell? Where's that? There we go. That really weirded me out. But Anthony Davis, I feel like is an okay option. It's just injury prone. If he was completely healthy, he'd probably be over Sabonis, maybe Victor, because he's technically $800K cheaper. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to believe, but the $1 million, $2 million are like a bit of a difference in this. So, because I struggle and my flex position at the moment is in that position where I don't know, I need another million, which I'm not getting. But yeah, anyways, that is number 6. Number 7, also talked about him in the power forward video. Oh, I didn't actually mention probably a bit late to mention it now, but if this is your first video watching this, my consideration of a premium is probably 14 mil up. But we talked about this bloke, going back to it, not Mark Williams, Bam Adebayo. So considering that Jimmy Butler's gone, and Tyler Hero's out for the first couple of weeks, this guy is the one that I really want in my flex because of it. Um, he'll be a decent option. He gets rebounds, he'll score, he gets blocks. He'll get a more of an average of 25. My expectation of him is probably going to be around 20. I know it's only 2.5 points, but 28 to 30. I'd want a 30. I'd be very pleased if he got a 30. Talked about this guy again in the last video, Evan Mobley. I've had him in multiple like drafts, which is different to this, obviously. But 27 points averaged. He's the defensive player of the year for a reason. Should have been Dyson. So it makes sense why he's this expensive. Gets blocks, gets rebounds. It's just with Jarrett Allen, just that twin towers up there. He doesn't score that much. He'll score the odd. I think he averaged around 15 or 16 last year, and then you'll get it to you'll have games where it's like 12. And I feel like with his height and size, for example, Wemby's like 4 inches taller and is just moving around like a god. You could probably do that with Mobley. Like Mobley could move around, just step all over everyone and get to the rim with ease, which he probably does. I don't really watch much Cleveland games, but yeah, he's another fine option. Probably would have talked about him in the power forward video as well as Alperen Şengün. Won't go into too much detail with him. He's going to get rebounds. He might get a few more assists now with KD, but his shots will go down. So his average might be around the same, I reckon, unfortunately. But that's what I think will happen with Şengün now that KD's come along. Number 10, got Walker Kessler. Walker, excuse me, that's my phone dropping. Kessler, for 16 mil, I think is okay. 26 is a lot. He's a double-double machine from last year. This is a week 6 score of 121, 118. He's got only 2. So this is the thing. He's only got 2 games in the first week. And Memphis don't even have many centers, so he'd probably get a lot of boards. Now that John Collins is gone as well, he's going to be, he's going to be the main rebound guy, which will be really important. So I reckon you should go for him. Arguably, I'd probably rather go with him than Şengün, honestly, and potentially Mobley, but that's probably it. You wouldn't have him as your primary option, but yeah. So that's the top 10 for centers. I'll go through the others individually that I haven't gone through, which is Zubats. He averaged 28.7 last year in fantasy score for Supercoach, which is great. But John Collins is there. Speaking of, Walker Kessler now moving to the Clippers, he likes getting rebounds and he'll pull them down, which will mean Zubats won't grab down as many. And also he's going to be the 5th scoring option on that team with Beal and John Collins joining that roster, and CP. CP might throw him some lobs, which would be nice in that second unit. And then I reckon his minutes will go down as well because Brook Lopez is there. So it's a very deep team, that Clippers team. I'll have a look at their roster and we can... where's LAC? You got Kawhi at the center power forward. You can play Collins at the 5, Lopez at the center. This team's pretty deep. Oh, wow. They don't really have many big man option. I guess they're just going to run the Lopez, Zubats, and Collins trio. But yes, that's Zubats. That's my view on Zubats. I just wouldn't go with him. Joel Embiid, there's the obvious answer if he's going to be injured all year. He's injury prone. He's played not that many games at all. It's gone down 5 mil since the last year. But oh my god, I'll talk about this with a new. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a series because they're just videos. It's not a TV series, but a new like set of videos where I do most valuable like players, like with value wise, and Embiid's on there just because we know what he's like, but heavily like we know this a lot where Joel Embiid is heavily injury prone, and I heavily advise that because it will affect your team and your game plan. I don't know how many trades you get a year. I'm sure it says somewhere in the at the start of it, but you can't be trading premiums that much. I think premium unless they're injured, and I think Joel Embiid is just going to be in and out of that team quite a bit. Um, so with your premiums, just keep them tight and close. They'll play every game, hopefully. But yeah, Vucevic, not racist. Don't just no. They're trying to get rid of him. They're going to play him less. I don't see why they would. Mark Williams wouldn't go, honestly. Yeah, I think he's injury prone as well, but I just wouldn't go. Like he got banned for cheaper, like for 150k cheaper, 140k cheaper. Sorry, I'd just rather go that. And you've got Kessler, who's just like just under 200k more, and same with Shengun, like 500k. And there's no point. I think you've got too many. You've got guys who are better down here and guys who are better just above. Pirtle is interesting. He's a bit of a sleeper pick, I reckon. Like 25.4 is an interesting number on his that he did last year. 15.7 mil primary rebounder. You could go for him, but I don't. It's just not a. He's not a very flashy name in fantasy basketball. So I could maybe look into that, but I probably can't afford him. I'll be honest. Gobert, I would not touch with a 10-foot pole personally. I know he averaged 24. I'm just not going to go with it. He gets blocks, I know, and he obviously bring down boards, but I think he's going to have more games than not where he doesn't do that consistent. I think it's going to be 2 games he'll do it well, and then 1 game it's just like he'll have 4 rebounds and 1 block, and then you're like, "What are you doing, Rudy?" But hopefully he changes that my mind there. Jarrett Allen, I would probably rather take Gobert over Allen, but just wouldn't go with him considering that you've got Mobley. It's weird that if you doubled up with Mobley and Allen, um, gives you rebounds, not many points. Porzingis talked about him in the power forward video. It's interesting. I reckon he's an interesting go, but I'm not going to go for him. Hartenstein for OKC, I wouldn't do just because if they've started him, then maybe, but for 14.7 mil, I feel like I can get like Duran, who I think is probably a better get to go for. Triple J, he's injured for the first couple of weeks, I heard, but correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm not going to go for him. Later in the year, potentially, because Edie's out as well. Jalen Duran, I would rather go for him than Jackson, Hartenstein, Porzingis, Allen, Gobert, Pirtle, Mark Williams, Vucevic, and Embiid. Like, he's their main guy. They don't really have a backup center, do they, Detroit? Like, a significant center is what I mean. Obviously, they'll have backup centers. Isaiah Stewart, he can shoot. He's going to be a power forward though, and Paul Reed, B-Ball Paul is there as well. So I think he would be a decent option to go for. John Collins, I had him in fantasy last year. I really liked him. Really liked what he did last year for my fantasy team, but I'm just not going to go for him personally. He's going to be the 4th scoring option. He's got Harden, Beal, and Kawhi at that 1, 2, and 3 spot. Just wouldn't. Holmgren's interesting. 22.6. He went down 2.5 mil. I think he might do better this year, potentially. Coming off a championship, like another year under his belt, I think I think it'll be I think he's okay. I think he's better than Collins. Like I said with Duran, he's better than Collins, Jackson, Hartenstein, Porzingis, Allen, Rudy, and he's like cheaper. He's a pretty decent pick, I reckon. So Chet Holmgren, I would go. I wouldn't be mad if you went with him. Other guys don't go. Kongwu talked about that. Aiton's interesting just because new team. I didn't watch the preseason game. I think it was today against the Warriors. Nah, wouldn't go. I think he's too soft in my opinion. Randall, no. Turner, maybe, but nah, wouldn't go for him. Uh, Gafford and Lively wouldn't. Claxton, you could. Like 11.7 mils okay for him. They don't really have a backup center. I know they've got Drew Timmy, but yeah, he could play 30, 33 minutes a game, get you some decent scoring. But yeah, that's probably about it for all the centers. So yeah, I'll just quickly recap what I did for my top 10. So we went with Giannis for 1 to 10. Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, Sabonis, which I then said he'll probably be around 7th. So it'd be Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, probably then Sabonis, Evan Mobley, Alperen Şengün, Walker Kessler. Guys that I do like are Duran. I like Holmgren, Jaren Jackson Jr. when he's healthy. Um, Bam, I already mentioned him. Don't worry. Joel, if he does play a game, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's the centers. That wraps up the 5 videos of best valued center options for the NBA Supercoach this season. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree or agree with anything I've said so far. I'm going to be releasing in the future best valued options, but I'm going to shorten them so it'll be point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and centers because I was going to do the same thing: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, centers. But then it was like, well, the point guard and shooting guards is a lot of very high value players in that area. So I was like, let's just put it together. Same with the forwards, centers not so much because they're more standalone. But yeah, anyways, that is the video. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.